You've checked your phone at least 3 times since you woke up today, maybe more. You probably didn't even notice. The average person spends 2 hours and 27 minutes every single day on social media. That's 37 days a year. Staring at a screen, consuming content, being watched. But what if none of it existed? What if Mark Zuckerberg had stayed in his dorm room and Facebook was never born? What if then would? In 2004, a 19-year-old Harvard student launched a website called The Facebook from his dorm room. Within 24 hours, 1,200 students had signed up. Within a month, half of Harvard. What followed changed humanity faster than any technology since the printing press. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn. Each one built on the same fundamental idea. Connect people, capture attention, sell that attention to advertisers. Today, 5 billion people, more than half of all humans alive, use social media. It has toppled governments, elected presidents, launched wars, created billionaires overnight, and quietly driven a mental health crisis that has devastated an entire generation. Teen depression is up 150% since 2012, the year Instagram went mainstream. Suicide rates among girls aged 10 to 14 have doubled. The Surgeon General of the United States has called social media a public health crisis. But without it, what exactly do we lose? And what do we get back? It's 2004. Zuckerberg builds Facebook, but it stays a college directory. Never goes public, never expands beyond campus. Twitter is never founded. Instagram never happens. TikTok, which grew from the DNA of every platform before it, never exists. The internet still exists. Email still exists. Google still exists. But the social layer, the infinite scroll, the like button, the algorithmic feed never gets built. What fills that void? Blogs, forums, local community boards. The early internet, but frozen in a more human form. People still connect online, but the connection requires more effort. You have to write a paragraph, not tap a heart. You have to seek out a community rather than have one algorithmically assigned to you. Here's what 2026 looks like without social media. Teen mental health is dramatically better. Studies from our own timelines show that when teens reduce social media use by just 30 minutes a day, depression and anxiety scores drop significantly. Now remove it entirely, for an entire generation, and you're looking at a mental health landscape that is fundamentally healthier. Political polarization is lower. Not gone. People have always disagreed. But the algorithmic radicalization pipeline that pushed millions toward extremism doesn't exist. Your news comes from newspapers, TV, and word of mouth. It's slower, but it's also less designed to make you angry. Here's the business impact. Advertising is less targeted, less powerful, and less addictive. But local businesses thrive. Without Facebook ads destroying small business margins, the playing field is more level. And here's the detail that hits hardest. The Arab Spring of 2011, which was largely organized on Twitter and Facebook, may never happen. Revolutions that social media enabled, for better or worse, simply don't occur. But here's what we lose. The small business owner in rural Mississippi who built a 6-figure business on Instagram, still working a minimum wage job. The activist in Iran using Twitter to document human rights abuses, silenced with no platform. The teenager in rural Wyoming who found their community online and realized they weren't alone, isolated. Social media didn't just steal our attention. It also gave the voiceless a voice. It gave the lonely a community. It gave the small a platform. The question isn't whether it's good or bad. It's whether we built it right, and whether, knowing what we know now, we'd build it differently. Every week we ask 7 questions. What if? Today's answer is this. A world without social media is healthier, calmer, and less connected. And that last part, that's the hardest part to accept. Because connection, even the artificial, algorithm-driven kind, is something humans will always hunger for. That's what if then would. Drop your take in the comments. Would you give up social media if you could go back? And subscribe, because next week we go even deeper.